All right, y'all. It's time. It is. Let me see that. Here you go. It's 11:01. It's late night, but that's all right. You know why? Excuse me. Because we're going to fill out our brackets. Instead of filling out the bracket with the paper and predicting how far each team is going to go, I decided to put all the teams that are in this year's NCAA tournament in tier maker, and I'm going to predict how far each one of these teams is going to go in March Madness or in the tournament, whatever you want to call it. We're going to go through a quick disclaimer, run through the tiers we have here, and we'll get straight into it. I'm going to try to make this video as short as possible, but you know how these tier systems go. We got to make sure it's as accurate as possible. But here comes a disclaimer. I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm not arguing with you. This is my prediction on how far I think all of these teams will go. So you could type on that keyboard, punch that keyboard as hard as you want to. When I click this button right here, stop recording, it's either A, they prove me right, or B, they prove me wrong. That's it. It's not that serious. Y'all can go back and forth with yourselves if you want to. Because I'm going to be sitting here reading the comments and be laughing if it's funny. But if you're trying to persuade me to make me feel like I did the wrong decision, again, prove me right or prove me wrong. But to do all this access typing, it's not going to help. Because any team can lose. And I'm gonna pull up your comment and say what happened. Or you could pull up this video and I could be wrong. I might have a team too high and you could say what happened. Prove me right or prove me wrong. But to say, oh well, they have the highest offensive rating in the last month. They should be ranked higher. I don't know that. Prove me right or prove me wrong. It's as simple as that in March. Any team can lose. Maybe South Carolina get upset, but I highly doubt it. The way how they looked when the seating was announced, you see how they looked? They looked a little angry. I ain't gonna lie. And an angry South Carolina team, I don't think you want to deal with an angry South Carolina team. I'm just saying. Anyway, let's get into the tiers, right? So instead of having multiple tier systems with first round and first four and then round of 32 and Sweet 16, I put first round and first to four in one tier. I put Cancun here. These are the teams that, in my opinion, will not make it past the first round or the first four. You're going to Cancun. It's that simple. You're going to Jamaica, you're going to Barbados early. You have 5 to 7 business days, and you're going back to your campus. Simple. Unless, like I said, prove me wrong. Prove to me that you are going to make a deep run. A Cinderella story. Round of 32, the second round. These are how far I think teams will go in the second round. They might peak in the second round. They might make it past the first round, the first to four, but then they get eliminated in the round of 32. Sweet 16. They might make it past these first two, then Sweet 16 they get eliminated. Same with Elite Eight, Final Four, and the championship teams. Self-explanatory. But I'm gonna try to keep this top tier championship tier. I'm gonna try to keep it a grand maximum of 4 teams. Because I don't want to have too many teams in the championship tier, and then you know how that goes. Like, it's too many teams to win it all. No. I'm going to try to keep this championship at least max 4. Max 4. And for the rest, Final Four and under, is free game. Can be a lot of teams in round of 32, first round, first four, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four. It can be a lot of teams, but this top tier is only grand max of 4. So, with that being said, I do have the bracket in my phone, and we're gonna go from there, right? So let's start Because I don't want to start with UCLA first, because that was the first team that announced number one seed, not South Carolina. That's why they looked a certain kind of way, like they might be on some timing. And looking at their bracket, their region, yeah, they gonna do a lot of stepping, but we're not there yet. So let's start with Vermont. Vermont versus NC State at the bottom bracket, right? Vermont is 21-12. NC State is 26-6. Vermont, I'm not gonna lie to you. Where is Vermont? Cougar. Where's the Cougar at? Hmm. It's not here. Where is it? Okay, let me find a picture for them. All right, we're back. We might do that a lot because I thought I had every team on here, and I probably don't. So I might have to pause here and here to make sure I have a picture for every team that is in the tournament. But Vermont, I'm not gonna lie to you, you're going to Cancun. I mean, you're playing NC State, ain't gonna get you out the way. And even if you did beat NC State, I don't think you making it that far, regardless. And it's no disrespect, respectfully. I mean, NC State is one of those highly ranked teams for a reason. Second ranked um in their conference, the ACC. NC State. NC State, if I'm not mistaken, they made the Final Four last year. Play South Carolina. Can they do it again this year? Defensive minded team. I do have some scores. Zaya James, Nia Rivers, Big Zoe Brooks. Make a Final Four push again. It might be a lot of bold predictions in this. I could feel a lot of bold predictions. Um, do they peak in the Elite Eight? Uh, they be playing LSU. Man. I think Ole Miss. I mean, not Ole Miss. I think NC State. The way how their region looks, they might mess around and make a Final Four again. Maybe. Kind of want to put them in Elite Eight, but I think they're better than Elite Eight. I mean, they did lose to Duke, so did Notre Dame, but it's kind of like in between Final Four and Elite Eight. But I'm gonna put them in Final Four for right now, and then when we finish, I might move them. But again, they stick with the program. I think that they can make some noise. Maybe Elite Eight. I don't know. We'll see. Harvard. Harvard versus Michigan State. Um, I think I have Harvard winning. How far will they go? Harvard, they just might peak kind of early. Might put them around the 32 for right now. Michigan State, if they were to win that game versus Harvard, again, they might be around the 32 as well. I, I mean, they're kind of the same. 24-4, 21-9. Yeah. And again, these are hypothetically, if they were to win, like Michigan State would win, how far would they go? And Harvard, how far would they go? Um, hmm. No, I don't think. Is Michigan Cancun? I don't know. I don't think Michigan is Cancun. I think that might be a little too early, but we'll see. San Diego State. San Diego State. Yeah. Um, playing LSU. Then after that, they probably would have been playing Florida State or George Mason. Yeah, they might be going to Cancun. They might be going to Cancun, to be honest. LSU, LSU, in my opinion, they are considered underdogs. In my opinion, um, during the season, they did play a lot of somewhat scrimmage games. Some may consider them scrimmages, but that's why I am pushing for more ranked matches. But I also have to keep in mind and take in consideration that these are student athletes. And, and travel that costs a lot of money. And again, that these are students, so they have to keep up with their work, homework, finals, tests, midterms, things of that nature. So it takes a toll on the body, the mind. You got to concentrate on beating the team you have to play, and then you got homework. So, but still, even as from a fan's perspective, yeah, we would love to see LSU versus UConn or UCLA versus um, South Carolina more, or Texas versus Duke or something like that. You know what I mean? But got to keep in mind that certain things like that can happen due to travel costs and student housing things. But LSU, in my opinion, as long as the big three is healthy, Michaela, Flaugier, and Anissa Morrow, they are bare minimum Elite Eight. If they're all healthy, because I don't know, Flaugier, they said she'll play in March in the tournament, but I don't know, because from the video, from the release of the bracket, seen a couple players doing the boots, and then one of them was Flaugier, and the other one was Nisa Morrow. So both healthy, I can see them making at least an Elite Eight push. But if unhealthy, nah, I'm leave them in Elite Eight. I think for them to even still be underdogs and make it Elite Eight, that's a good push for them. Florida State, George Mason. I would have Florida State winning and beating George Mason. But Florida State, Tania Latson, is that enough? Is that enough to really make a real run, like a Cinderella run to like the Final Four? No. I see them peaking probably around the Sweet 16, maybe Elite Eight, but I think Sweet 16. George Mason, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. George Mason, yeah. If they were to be Florida State, I don't think they make it past around the 32, to be honest. But, who knows? Who knows? Baylor and Grand Canyon. Baylor and Grand Canyon. This should be a good one. Could be a good one. Grand Canyon is 32 and 2, 13th ranker. Baylor is 4th and 27 and 7. Lost in the Sweet 16 last year to USC. Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon for an upset. But past that, I don't know how far they would go, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna put Grand Canyon probably around the 32. Kind of, I don't know. We haven't really watched too many Grand Canyon games. Baylor, they were to beat Grand Canyon, probably Sweet 16, maybe. Again, getting bounced out around the Sweet 16. Ole Miss and Ball State. Obviously, I got Coach Yo-Yo getting it done. They better not lose versus Ball State. Ole Miss, I see Ole Miss as a Sweet 16 team. Ball State, I see them peaking around round of 32. Richmond or Georgia Tech? Richmond Spiders. Richmond Spiders versus Georgia Tech. I'll take Richmond. I'll go with Richmond. Where will they peak? Probably Sweet 16. Georgia Tech. Ooh, Georgia Tech. Cancun? Probably Cancun. Maybe. Because a lot of these teams we haven't really seen this year, so I can't really give too much of an analysis. These are just kind of guesses. Because again, y'all don't want to see those games all season long anyway. But the team that we did watch a lot this year, UCLA. UCLA, UCLA, UCLA. Bruins in the ruins. Now, I have said UCLA is one of those teams that have potential to really make history this year, right? They have Lauren Betts, one of the best bigs in the country. They have the shooters, they have the defenders, they have the length. They could make a lot of noise. Do I see them winning it all this year? Went pretty much undefeated till, USC handled business. And then looking at or UCLA's past in the March Madness NCAA tournament, they do fold a lot. Which is a team that, they don't really get too far as they could. I'm gonna go bold prediction and say they peak around the Final Four. As long as they stick with the program, if Lauren Betts gets the ball between 85, at least 85% of the plays, get her the ball, let her go to work, and not trying to pass, figure it out who's going to be the scorer tonight. Lauren Betts should be like Nikola Jokic out there. Give her the ball, let her play make in the post. She want to take a 5, 7 footer, 10 footer. Everybody needs to be crashing the glass. If she gets the ball and she's going to work, everybody should be crashing the glass. Everybody needs to be rotating, getting open. But if they're just going to be passing, figure it out, you know where you're going. You're going home, probably around the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. But as long as they stick with the program that they've been having all year long, bold prediction, they make the Final Four. Bold prediction. And one of the teams that can make a Final Four. UC San Diego and Southern. UC San Diego and Southern. Yeah, I mean, these two teams are fighting for the 16th spot. They're going to Cancun. I mean, they're fighting for pretty much their demise of their season. Not to say that you should just lose, but I don't see either one of them beating UCLA, to be honest with you. So let me make sure. Let me pause this one. Let me make sure this is Southern. Okay, we're back. We have their logos. Yeah, I don't really see them making a deep run in March anyway. So regardless, whoever wins, they're going home in the first round, or the first four, first round, whatever. They're going home. And that is that region. Next, we have. So yeah, we're gonna start from the bottom again. Duke and Lehigh. I have Duke winning that game, and I think Duke could peak around Elite Eights. I see Duke being okay. See, they're hating now. Not Sweet 16. I see Duke being up here in the Elite Eight. Not Sweet 16. If Duke loses in the Sweet 16, Tier Master tried to tell us something. Not Tier Master, Tier Maker. Tier Maker tried to tell us something. If they try to keep them right here, but I see them in the Elite Eight. The defensive minded team. They beat NC State. They beat Notre Dame in the tournament, the ACC tournament. I could see them peaking around the Elite Eight with LSU and NC State. Would love to see this. NC State versus Duke in the Elite Eight. That would be an amazing game. Amazing defensive battle there, but we'll see. Lehigh? If you were to beat Duke, I don't see you making it past that. So probably around here, round of 32. Not making it a Sweet 16. There's no way. I can't see it happening. But who knows? It might end up having an upset, but I see Duke beating Lehigh. Vanderbilt and Oregon. Pretty close matchup. 22-10 Vanderbilt, 19-9 Oregon. I think it's time for an upset. I think it's time for an upset. Oregon, really know them for having Deja Kelly. Vanderbilt, they have that one nice freshman on their team. Vanderbilt, am I thinking of the right player? Vanderbilt women's basketball. They have this. Is this the team I'm thinking about with Vanderbilt? Let's see. Yeah, Michaela Blake's. Yeah, Chad. Yeah, that's gonna be a good one. They have Michaela Blake's, who's nasty, who I've been hearing, the nasty freshman from Jersey. 23 a game? Ooh, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Nah, Vanderbilt got it. I don't know if Oregon will have the answer for it. Maybe again, I could be wrong. Even if Oregon were to beat Vanderbilt, I'd see them peaking probably around the 32. Where is this? Cancun. Yeah, they might go to Cancun, bro. I think Vanderbilt with Michaela Blake's averaging 23 as a freshman. Nasty. But I see them peaking pretty early. Maybe for their region, they might peak kind of early. Round of 32. Mm, they look better than these teams in the round of 32. Even though they're in a different region. Hmm. Sweet 16 bound. Round of, let's see how far she take them. Let's put it like that. Let's see how far she takes them. I'm gonna put them in Sweet 16. NC or Oregon State, North Carolina or Oregon State. I have North Carolina winning that game. I think they peak Sweet 16-ish, maybe round of. No, I think they'll be Sweet 16. Oregon State, they've been on a redemption tour, but that ain't really gonna take them that far. At least I don't think so. So I think they peak round of 32. West Virginia, Columbia, or Washington. So Columbia and Washington are playing for the 11th spot, and West Virginia is 6. Quinterly, can she get it done? Uh, maybe round of 32. Columbia and Washington. Washington did go back and forth with USC, but I think they peak round of 32. Columbia, they're going to Cancun. No, I don't think they'll make it that far. Norfolk State, Norfolk State, Norfolk State versus Maryland. Maryland does have a nice backcourt. Norfolk State is 30-4. I see Maryland beating them. I do see Maryland beating them. I think they peak kind of early. Yeah, I see them peaking kind of early though. Norfolk State, Norfolk State. Even if they were to beat Maryland, I think they peak early too. Alabama or Green Bay? I'm gonna go with. I think it's time for upset, guys. Might go with Green Bay. No Packers. Might go Green Bay. But even then, they might peak early. Round of 32, peak early. Same with Alabama, regardless. Think they go home around the 32. Utah and Indiana. I think that's going to be a good one to watch with you guys. Utah, Indiana. Utah does have a better record. Remember, Indiana was back and forth with USC too. Um, I'm gonna go Utah in this game. Very close game, but I'm gonna go Utah. Are they Sweet 16 bound? Uh, Possibly. I'll be nice. I'll put Utah in the Sweet 16. Indiana, if they were to win that game, well, you gotta play South Carolina. Oh yeah, you're going home. I'm not even gonna hold you. You gotta play South Carolina next round. Yeah, you going home. Cause cause that's next. Tennessee Tech. Yeah, I'm sorry, but you going home. Cause when you gotta deal with South Carolina, you better pray you don't lose by 95. To be honest, the way how they looked, especially at the end of the season, Chloe Kitt's getting triple doubles, steamrolling through the SEC tournament. I did skip a game because did y'all really want to see South Carolina play Oklahoma? And they beat them by 18. Let's look at their matter of fact, let's look at the stats for South Carolina. Okay, so looking at South Carolina's schedule. Now we said this all year about South Carolina, they don't have the height. It's not the same team as last year where you get beat off the dribble. You have a 6'8" Camila Cardoso right there to protect the paint and set them shots to cheap seats. Don't have that this year. But what they do have is heart, experience. And that experience will take you a long way, especially in an NCAA tournament like this. And even looking at their region, it's looking pretty easy. I mean, I don't really see a whole lot of team that could really get in their way, especially when they're motivated like this. Maybe Duke. Well, other than that, I don't really see any team in their way right now. The way how they look during the tournament, the SEC tournament, had Kenny, what's his name? Kenny Brooks had him crash out saying South Carolina gets all the McDonald's All Americans. Had him crashing out. Vanderbilt got them out the way, beat on Oklahoma, and destroyed Texas. Speaking of Texas, we'll talk about them in a second. There was a side clip at the end of Texas and South Carolina. This was February 9th. Madison Booker. We got a lot of love and respect for Madison. But you done woke up Hall Breezy. Woke up Hall Breezy. Got her talking. Madison. She can't effing guard me, right? Madison. You know, we got love for you on this channel. We do. But I gotta educate you with Bree Hall. She may not be a scorer, but she had the biggest task of last season, putting her fingers in Caitlin Clark's skull like it's Mortal Kombat, so she couldn't see. She can't effing guard me. And it's March, so I'm here for all the negativity. You know what I mean? But then you done woke up all breezy, and this is what her response was. So she pretty much clapped back, got her get back, and said, "Who can't guard you?" Peep game. 30 days apart, whole month apart.
I won't say no names, but I will say that the special somebody said she can't effing guard you. So I said, oh, okay, who can't guard you?
Nah, they say, clock T. That's all this was. It just clocked her T, as they say. Again, you gotta look at Bree Hall's resume. She was guarding Caitlin Clark, absorbing her offensive powers. Even though Caitlin did hit her one of these. She still had the biggest assignment with her and Raven Johnson. I'm so happy for Raven getting her get back of the year before that. 2023, when Caitlin Clark said like these, that put Raven Hall through a spiraling depression. She couldn't even go to sleep good at night. But that will not be the last time we say sleep good at night. Raven Johnson couldn't even like function properly because that clip went viral of Caitlin Clark going like these. But even then, Clarkies, Clark Media, the Caitlin Clark Hall, whatever you call them, they're gonna view that as spice. They're gonna view that as sassy spice. You know what I mean? But anybody else do it, or even in Caitlin Clark's face, it's considered classless or disrespectful. When Caitlin Clark does it and says, "Shut up, you're down 15," nobody want to say nothing. When she said that to Haley Van Lith, nobody want to say nothing. That's the same game as this. You can go Google it, look it up. It's the same game. And then, the game after that, Final Four. Not worried about Raven Johnson. And Raven Johnson got her get back, got that steal on that layup. I was screaming like I don't know what. But with that being said, South Carolina, they come in here motivated and play like how they're supposed to play. Okay, hold on. Hold on. Where's South Carolina? Oh, here they go. Long as South Carolina plays motivated, they play like a team, and don't play like how they played versus UConn because that was very cancelable. That was not South Carolina basketball. They do have a couple losses: South Carolina, Texas, and UConn. No, I'm tripping. UConn, Texas. What they lose to? Hold on, we can look at it right now. So we even got to guess. UConn, Texas, and UCLA. UCLA, Texas, and UConn. But other than that, all you see is green, green, and Mo Green, and green grass and Mo Green. So, in my Pro Bowl prediction, I have South Carolina way up here in championship tier. This team has the experience. They remind me a lot of the Warriors of 2022. And I think that they can make it far as long as they play together as a team. If they start playing like they don't know what's going on, they don't know where they at, this March is gonna be real interesting. But yeah, I put them in championship tier, without a doubt. And that is that tier. So we got two regions out of the way. Let's go to the next one. TCU and Fairleigh High Dickinson. TCU reminds me a lot of the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA, doing a lot of winning right now. Well, the season's over for them, but Cavs are doing a lot of winning right now. Just won 16 straight before they just lost their last game. They got Haley Van Lith, made an amazing career move, going from LSU to TCU. Pretty much rebranded herself back to her Louisville days, where she's option one. Have a solid team. They have Sedona Prince, aka Anthony Davis. Um, I see TCU. I mean, they're beating. I see them beating Fairleigh High Dickinson, but I see them peaking around Elite Eight. I see them peaking. I think they get past the Sweet 16. Yeah, I see them around Elite Eight. I can see them being around Elite Eight. They peak that much. Fairleigh High Dickinson. I ain't gonna lie. Even if you did beat TCU, you might end up peaking around the 32. To be honest with you, I see them peaking around the 32. Even if they did beat TCU, but I don't see that happening. Louisville or Nebraska? Louisville, they're okay. They're not like insane. I mean, they do have Jada Curry. They have Taj Roberts, Jalea, Big O. This team is cool, but do they make it far though? I mean, they do have coaching experience. Mm, versus Nebraska, that should be a good game. Pretty much same overall. 21-10, 21-11. Nebraska. Louisville 21-10. I see them peaking pretty high. Probably maybe Sweet 16 at most. Past that, I don't know if I can go past that. Nebraska, they were to beat Louisville. Mm, Nebraska will probably be around maybe 16 to 32 ish because it looks like they would have to. Mm, I'm gonna put them around 32. Nebraska. Yeah, I see them picking pretty early. Stephen F. Austin and Notre Dame. Stephen F. Austin, I see them going home early, going to Cancun. Um, if Stephen F. Austin beats Notre Dame, I'm crashing out because Notre Dame is a way better team, at least from my opinion. And getting on Notre Dame, when season started and they had a lot of credible wins, I had them up here in the Final Four, right? They flew to LA and beat USC in hostile territory and handled business. They play like dogs. They play like they wanted it more, right? They beat Texas. Let me see if I can get this like directly correct from game to game. Notre Dame. Here we go. Yeah, they had these Thanksgiving losses, TCU and Utah. Look at Utah again. Can they make a deep run? Let me see. I want to look at their stats. Not this game. What do their team stats look like? 19, 7, 5. Hmm. Hmm. Where do I have them at? Utah. Um, Utah. Yeah, I see them peaking early still. I mean, they might be Sweet 16 bound, but I don't think so. Maybe I could be wrong, but we'll see. Prove me right or prove me wrong. But again, they got the USC win. Then they played Texas and they played UConn. UConn was undefeated at the time and beat them at home. 2 years in a row, Notre Dame has beat UConn. And again, Notre Dame at start of the season when they played together and they play like a team, they were up here in the Final Four conversation. And Hidalgo was deemed as the best player in the country after they beat all these teams. Right? Flew into LA, got their business handed. Flew to LA and handled business, got the job done. Played Texas, game went to overtime. I don't know why Leah King fouled in the game. She just got back. The game would have been over regardless. Layup from Olivia Miles would have been a game winner, but still won anyway. And UConn, they play like they wanted it more. UConn looked a little timid. They didn't know who was going to be the main scorer. Think Sarah Strong could have played better in this game, but it is what it is. And then every game after that, it was kind of just like kind of sweet. Other than the North Carolina game, 118 to 49. Like, what is this? Scrimmage? That's ridiculous. 97 to 54, 95 54, 100 to 64. It's kind of sweet. You know, they had a nice little easy scrimmage schedule. Till we get down here. They lost in double overtime. Well, they beat Duke in the second half of this game. They beat Miami. I mean, we're Miami. Ain't worried about nobody. The NC State, double overtime. Got tired, ran out of gas, and ended up losing. Florida State, however, that game kind of threw me off. Like, losing to Florida State? This what we doing before the tournament? Louisville, that was the second half W. Louisville was hanging in there. And then we get to the ACC tournament in California. They just kept giving them the ball back like it was Christmas, Thanksgiving, hand wrapped. Here's the ball. Excuse me. Then they end up losing to Duke. I don't know. It just seems like with Notre Dame, they went away from what made them monsters. They went from playing team ball to saying, give her the ball right here and take us to the promised land. And I understand we're going to get on USC in a second. But if Notre Dame wants to make a deep push in this tournament, it needs to be Olivia Miles scoring, Hannah Hidalgo scoring, Leah Tu King hitting her mid-range shots, Maddie Westbelt hitting her shot, Sony Citron hitting her shots. They cannot come in here and say Hannah Hidalgo take us to the promised land because that's not going to happen. They got used to Hannah Hidalgo being option one from last season. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know. But they can't do that this year because now last year they were just missing that piece, and that piece was looking Miles. It was hooping. So we got to the end of the season. They start to get on a bumpy road. Leah Two King, just like you, Carmelo Anthony in the mid range, you don't miss those shots. Scoring. What did she score versus Duke again? Make sure I seen this correctly, cause yeah, man, this definitely can't happen. 17 minutes only shooting twice, 0 points. That's cardio. You just running up and down the court all day. Maddie Westbeld, I understand she had the broken nose, not broken nose, but nose was bleeding 2 games straight. Put a mask on. You know what I mean? The training staff needs to put a mask on. She played 27 minutes, 0 for 6, 0 for 2, 0 points. It's unacceptable. It's nasty. Can I have that in this tournament? Got a whole week to get it together. And this is what I mean by you cannot have Hannah Hidalgo take you to the finals. It's not going to happen. She's not LeBron. She can't take you to the finals by herself. Juju tried to do this last year, but we're not talking about USC just yet. And you can see, look what happened. She scored 23 points. Shot 9 of 22 from the field in 38 minutes. It's not going to win you the game. She only shot 1 3. That's not going to win you the game. Olivia Miles, 10 points. That's not enough. Sonia Citron, only 9. That's not enough either. And then they have this slim bench. That's what's really going to kill them, too. I said this all year long. It's either injuries, team chemistry, off the court, if anything happens in the locker room, or they just crumble. And then now you can add a skinny bench because they only have 3 players coming off. Now, I did see a couple of games ago they just signed some randoms off the school campus. I don't know how that's gonna work out because they don't. I don't know if they know the players or not. But 8 player rotation. I don't really know how far that will take you. So I think as of right now, Notre Dame, Sweet 16, they sweat bullets when they get around here. I think Notre Dame could be up here in the league. They had a week to figure it out. Now, if they lose versus some Stephen A. Smith school, Stephen F. Austin, I'm crashing out in the video. They better not lose that game in their house in Notre Dame. Simple as that. But anyway, let's keep it pushing so this video is not 2 hours long. Michigan, Iowa State, and Princeton. Michigan was Silas Swartz. Michigan with Silas Swords. I see them probably around here. Cause I mean, they could squeeze in here, but right now I'm not sure if they Elite Eight ready yet. Maybe. Let me look at their stats. Michigan. Let's look at Michigan. Michigan. Let's see how far they can go. Michigan. Let's see how far they can go. Let's see their last game. Silas Swords. They only got six. This it? Seven players? Notre Dame had eight. This it? Oh, you going home. If this all you got, you definitely going home. This little rotation? I, okay, yeah, here we go. I mean, they not doing nothing. They just scratching shoes on the court for the most part. Yeah, they ain't doing nothing, to be honest with you. Let's see. I know they not rocking a seven-player rotation in March. Yeah, they have a full team, but they're not doing anything. Yeah, they just scratching shoes on the court. Um, yeah, I might just leave them Sweet 16 for right now. Maybe around the 32-ish. I'm gonna leave them. I'm gonna be nice, put them at Sweet 16. And then after that, it's over with. Iowa State and Princeton. Audie Crooks. See Audie Crooks getting it done versus Princeton. No, Audie Crooks. The only thing about her, I mean, she is pretty much in the post. You don't gotta worry about her shooting threes or nothing like that. Probably around the 32 peak. Princeton. What's their record? What's Princeton's record? They used to have Caitlin Chen, I think last season. Princeton. What's their record? 21-7. Ooh, yeah. Um, yeah, they peak kind of early. I think regardless. Yeah, I think regardless they losing to Texas. I mean to not Texas to Michigan. Ohio State and Montana State. Ohio State or Montana State. I have Ohio State winning that game. I think they peak around. Are they Elite Eight? Are they Elite Eight? Maybe. Cody McMahon, Jelani Cambridge. Is that enough? Ohio State. You think that's enough? Let me see stats. Asia Petty, Taylor Theory. Yeah, it's gonna be enough for Elite Eight. They live up to their potential. They can make Elite Eight at least. Montana State. Got a nice record. Let me see. Montana State. See how far they can go. Where is their stat line? Yeah, yeah. Even if they did beat Ohio State, they're peaking in second round at most. Tennessee and South Florida. Tennessee, they had like a Tyler Perry type of season. There's just been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of dramatic endings. They finally had a breakthrough versus UConn, and Gino was just standing there with his arms crossed or behind his back. He didn't really know what to do. But Tennessee, maybe Sweet 16. And that depends because they just been having a lot of those games. A lot of close games for them. Southern Florida. South Florida. Yeah, they're peaking on the 32 at most. I don't see them making them that far. Illinois and Creighton. Illinois. Creighton. Yeah, I see Creighton winning that game. Is Illinois Cancun bound though? Yes, I'm going to Cancun. Even if they were to be Creighton, see them going on kind of early. But yeah, I think Creighton is going to get it done. And Creighton, Sweet 16. Texas, High Point, and William and Mary. Yeah, I have Texas. I think Texas Elite Eight. I think they fit in pretty well with NC State, LSU, Duke, TCU, and Notre Dame. I think they fit in pretty well, overall wise. At least bare minimum Elite Eight. High Point and William Mary, y'all going home. To be honest, I don't see them really making it that far, regardless. Um, where's William Mary? Yeah, they're going home. Respectfully. Knicks. Okay, so yeah, this is the last region. Start from the bottom. We got Arkansas State and UConn. Arkansas State, you're going to Cancun, buddy. I'm not gonna lie to you. You got to deal with UConn. You got to deal with Paige and AZ Fudd and KK and Yano Effie, Ashton Shea and Sarah Strong. Yeah, you going to Cancun. Yeah, I'm not even going to even. Mm-mm. You're not even going to do that. Seeing how UConn looks in that Big East tournament, they just pretty much just whooped on everybody, got that belt out. And you got to think about like Paige, AZ Fudd. This might be AZ Fudd last year. We don't really know yet. But Paige, this is really her last year. You see the look in Paige's eyes. She really wants this. And you can't really make a better ending, right, for Paige. We really might see Hopkins Page in the NCAA tournament. Not to think, right? Paige went from winning ESPYs in a freshman year to injuries, taking over a couple of years, had a decent run last year, made it to Final Four, beat USC, ended up losing to Iowa. Now, again, AZ Fudd wasn't there, so if AZ was there, would that make a difference? Possibly. Again, even with AZ Fudd not being there versus Notre Dame, would they have won that game? Who knows? UConn, the way how they look, again with Paige, her story from ESPYs to injuries to last year, this is her last year, and then to cut down the nets at the end of the year and then go to the draft with AZ Fudd, that would be the perfect ending to her college chapter, to her Disney Channel college chapter. You have AZ Fudd, who this might be her last year as well. Seen her in the last game, she's picking up 92 feet. This is the healthiest I've seen AZ Fudd look. And I've said this before, if AZ Fudd was healthy at some point in time in her career, they could have made at least one championship game. They could have made at least one championship game if AZ Fudd was healthy. And this year could be the year. So from what I've been seeing, I've been very impressed with UConn. They got South Carolina out the way. They caught me off guard. I'm thinking that's going to be a great game, coming down to the last shot. Because see how they play versus Tennessee. I'm thinking South Carolina. It's going to be a great game. They got the belt on them. They got the belt on South Carolina. And if they look how they look in the Big East tournament, UConn, University of Connecticut, championship tier team, number two. Let's keep it pushing, shall we? Oklahoma State or South Dakota State? Um, South Dakota State. Who do they have? What are we working with, South Dakota? South Dakota. South Dakota State. See who we're working with. Stats. We're working with. It's 12 o'clock. It's midnight. It's late night. But that's all right. Because for one, we almost done. And two, we got to get these vids done. Anyway, South Dakota State. Brooklyn Mayor averaged 17. Okay. 17. Mesa averaged 7 boards. Page Mayor averaged 5. Mm, versus Oklahoma. Let's see. Let's look at Oklahoma. Cowgirls. See how this look. 16, 8, 3. Yeah, it's a pretty even game. This is going to be a good game. Um, get an upset. I think South Dakota State will get it done. Jackrabbits. But how far do they go in the tournament? I don't see them making it to Elite Eight. I mean, they might make Sweet 16 at most, but other than that, that's about it. They ain't making Elite Eight. At least I don't think so. Oklahoma State, they were to win. See them peaking pretty early as well, maybe around the 32. Jackrabbits, they have a better record, 29-3 versus 25-6. So yeah, I see them peaking pretty early. If they were to beat South Dakota State, Oklahoma or Florida Gulf Coast. That Reagan Beers versus Florida Gulf. See what they have. Who is Florida Gulf? Florida Gulf. Let's see what they have on their team to have this record. Who's on this team? Stats. 14-9, 3-2. Oklahoma. They got to deal with a unit. Yeah, no. Nah. Let's see. Their stats. Oh, yeah, no. Oklahoma got this one. I got Oklahoma winning that game. Think they peaked probably. No, that was Oregon State. I was going to say Reagan Beers last year played a huge part. Her and Talia and Tamia Gardner, they played a huge part in beating Notre Dame last year in Oregon State. But even them, they peaking pretty early around the 32. At least I think so. In Oklahoma, they might sneak into the Elite Eight. See them blending in with this kind of caliber team. Florida Gulf, yeah, if they were to beat Oklahoma, yeah, they probably, yeah, at most, yeah. Iowa or Murray State. Iowa, they did beat USC, and you have Lucy Olson, Hannah Stuckey, Murray State. Yeah, I got Iowa winning. I think they peak probably Sweet 16-ish. This is post Caitlin Clark era. So we'll see how far they go. Murray State, they were to beat Iowa. I think they peaked pretty early. I think they peaked pretty early. Kentucky and Liberty, Georgia Amore, Kenny. Yeah, yeah, Kenny, he can't crash out. I think Kenny could lead them past Liberty. I think so. I think they peaked pretty early though, Sweet 16-ish. I don't know if they can make it to Elite Eight. Maybe. Do they fit up here in the Elite Eight? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's really the Elite Eight teams right there. Um, I think they peaked Sweet 16. Liberty, even if they did beat Kentucky, yeah, they probably peaked pretty early around the 32. Kansas State or Fairfield. I see Kansas State getting it done. Probably maybe Sweet 16 ish. Fairfield, peak early. California, Mississippi State. Cal's pretty decent. I mean, they just need to take care of the ball. That's really from what I seen from the eye test of last game versus Notre Dame. They just need to take care of the ball. Cal Golden Bears, women's team. 14-7-4. Mm, is that enough? Mississippi. See what they look like. Stats. Yeah, I could see Mississippi beating Cal. Probably peak. They might peak Sweet 16. Cal. Yeah, I could see them around the 32 peak. And then we have USC and Greensboro as the last two teams. That'd be it. UNC Greensboro. I mean, to be honest with you, you going home. To be honest, I don't see y'all beating USC. And as far as USC goes, USC, we've been watching this team on and off the court a lot, right? Team chemistry is there. Looks like on and off the court as well. Honestly, I could see them making a deep run. The only thing that scares me about USC is this clip right here.
Collectively shot 47% in that first half against a UCLA team that has led this conference in scoring defense. How do you keep that intensity going in the second half here?
Keep giving the ball to Juju. She's cooking on himself.
How do you keep that intensity going in the second half here?
Keep giving the ball to Juju. She's cooking on himself. I think that's our best offense right now. And, making sprays. We have good shooters. Avery just hit a big bucket. But I think we're doing everything perfect right now. We got to just keep our foot on the gas.
Defense, how do you keep that intensity going in the second half here?
Keep giving the ball to Juju. She's cooking on himself.
That's the only thing that scared me about this team is that nobody really has plays. It's just this.
Intensity going in the second half here.
Keep giving the ball to Juju. She's cooking on himself.
I'm telling you now, my heart is going to beat it. My heart is going to beat out of my chest if they're going to keep saying, give the ball to Juju and just let her cook. This team has too much talent to say that. You know what I mean? Like Kiki is too talented. You know what I mean? That's a easy 20 and 10 every game. She just had a recent interview with ESPN. Let's see if we can pull that up really quick.
Thank you.
Take from that game, specifically that second half, that could help you the rest of the way here?
I think honestly, just paying attention to the details. I think in the first half we were really on our P's and Q's with that. But then as the game got on, I think we were a little bit more lax because we had beat the team twice. But I think it just shows you what March is. Anybody can win in March. It's anybody's game. So it doesn't matter what we did in the regular season. It's kind of like a new season 0-0. So I think with that, we're kind of, taking that loss on the chin, and we're really excited to come out in these next few weeks and hopefully make a shot at the national championship.
I heard.
Yeah, I mean, it's the best way to put it that every game is a game 7. So now you really have to lock in the Big Ten Coach of the Year, Coach Lindsey, Coach Gottlieb, Coach Gotti. Had a whole week, got some rest, hopefully, got back in the film room, did what you're supposed to do, Kennedy. Drink some water. Drink some water. Hydration testing is very important right now. She's gonna have a very big assignment in picking up 92 feet. Picking up their best ball and 92 feet. That's Kennedy's game. She's a defender, right? Even if she has a very good offensive skill set, but I don't know if there's plays for her. I just see her just sitting in the corner most of the time.
I heard you throw that in there
But we'll see.
that you beat them twice.
And even with those games versus UCLA, USC really lost a half though, so they really beat them for 2.5
Yeah,
games.
to get that in, I respect that. That rivalry is always hot, whether it's football, baseball, basketball, whatever. But particularly women's basketball, how much more heated is that rivalry now, particularly this season?
I've never experienced a rivalry like this. So my rivalry the past 3 years was with Cal,
Yeah.
and we were like really great friends with the team. But here it's like there's bad blood. Like we do not like the school
Yeah. Yeah, the ops.
across
One was red, one was blue.
town is what we say. So I
You
think it's really
know,
exciting to play in an atmosphere like that.
y'all the down the
And
streets.
really, the games mean so much more. So winning at home or winning away, like you kind of have this extra chip on your shoulder that one, you don't want to lose in the first place, but you don't want to lose to your rivals.
If you could tweak the brackets, do it your way, would you want to see them in the Final Four, or would you want to see them in the championship game?
Honestly,
It's a good question.
I just want to make it to the championship game. So I really don't care who we're playing against. I definitely would love another shot at UCLA for sure. I think our whole team would love that, but it really doesn't matter when it is. I think we're just really focused on getting to Tampa.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, gotta remember, it's a long journey. One day at a time, one game at a time, brick by brick, piece by piece to make it up here. They've already beaten UConn. They beat UCLA really 2.5 games. Second half, they just went cold. You know, South Carolina is like the final boss. So, yeah, we'll see how that turns out
You're
for
going to be
them.
a number one seed, and that comes with expectations. How do you balance knowing that you're one of the teams that should get to Tampa, but you still have to take it one game at a time?
I think it's exactly that. It's taking it one game at a time. I think we have a lot of confidence in ourselves in terms of what we're capable of doing. We've beaten some great teams over the course of the season, but it's also not getting too high on those wins and kind of just taking every team one game at a time. Again, it's March. Anybody can win in March. There's a lot of upsets in March, so we don't want to be a team that partakes in that. So it's kind of just taking every team very seriously, regardless of who we're playing.
No, you don't want to get upset because if y'all get upset, y'all getting destroyed on the media.
Every game this season except
And
one.
you know who they coming for first for no reason.
Shout out to Avery Howell because she was the exception in the win against Purdue.
Every money sniper.
But in every other game this season, it was either Juju Watkins or yourself leading the team in scoring. You know she's going to face the defense's best effort every single game. How do you know when, okay, it's time for me to step up and take over because they're focusing on her?
I think as the game kind of goes on, you kind of just see what the defense is giving you. So I honestly feel like we use the first quarter to kind of read what the defenses are playing. Are they more focused on her, more focused on me, and kind of going from there? But I think, honestly, everybody on the team, 1 through 15, is capable of showing up and showing out. So if teams have a certain game plan, like I'm not worried about that because I know the rest of my teammates are very capable of taking over as well. So I think that's what makes this very threatening is that anybody on our team can kind of take over the game.
She's right, because you gotta think, right? Every team is going to be locked in really on 12, on Juju, right? So Juju's on, but Kiki is on too. And Kiki, she kick in with the 18 and 9, 20 and 10. Consistency is going to be a very big thing for Kiki in this tournament. Because if Juju's on and Kiki is on, then the defense is like, okay, so who we supposed to guard now? Juju's on, Kiki's on. Now it creates opportunities for other players to be creative and have offensive flow. Like Kennedy, she starts knocking down her shots. Avery comes in off the bench hitting her shots. K9 comes in, Kaylee Heckle comes in, plays her spot. Malia comes in, plays her spot. Everybody comes in, Clarice, whoever. It's gonna start with Juju. So if she's on, which she's gonna have to be on. Kiki has to be consistent. It can't be this Kiki right here that has 6 points at halftime. That's not gonna work. And I'm pretty sure she knows that. Shooting 6 times, three is 6 points is not gonna get it done. She needs to have this within the first few minutes of the game. They want to make the big game. So anyway, let's keep going.
When you decided to transfer from Stanford, I read that you two had a phone call, you and Juju, and that played a role in your decision. What was that phone call about?
Honestly, just about winning. It's about this moment right now that we're about to embark. She really wants to win. I really want to win. And we both kind of poured in and we're like, we want to be very selfless and do whatever it takes to win a national championship. And we felt like pairing up together, we could definitely achieve that goal. And I think, honestly, everything that we've talked about has really come to fruition. And we're just excited of, again, making it to Tampa.
Yeah, this is the year. This is Kiki's last year. So every game is really game seven, and then she has to transition to the W. This is the year that they can make the
We
game.
both kind of poured in and we're like, we want to be very selfless and do whatever it takes to win a national championship. And we felt like pairing up together, we could definitely achieve that goal. And I
And then you got to think like this team last year. And I'm not talking to the fans, like the diehard USC fan, because y'all know everybody from A to Z, right? Talking about the casuals that don't really know USC and really just know Juju. Last year, they went to the Elite Eight. And you could classify that team last year as Juju and them, because y'all only know more than three players on the team last year. So really, again, it's Juju and them, and they still made the Elite Eight. Now you got Juju, a top five pick in this year's draft. You have three McDonald's All Americans that can score or play defense. Then you have really good supportive role players that come off the bench and do what they do, right? So there's no way they don't make a Final Four. Like I can't wrap my mind around them not making the Final Four, especially last year making the Elite Eight with the team that they had. But anyway, let's keep
I
going.
think, honestly, everything that we've talked about has really come to fruition. And
No,
we're just
yeah, don't let Juju win a national championship this year, because I'm telling you right now, already know it's gonna be some commercials coming out. State Farm, you got State Farm, you got the Nike commercials. It's gonna be some more commercials coming out. She got three commercials with Degree body spray. She has one with Ritz. And then the fact that some people, it's been a lot of unnecessary Juju hate, like forced Juju hate for no reason, saying that she should transfer. But we don't get to that in a second.
excited of, again, making it
But
to
let's finish this
Tampa.
first.
When you hung up the phone after that call, did you know?
I knew. I was like, it's LA. I get to play with a lot of the girls that I grew up playing against and playing with, and playing for a great program that has so much history, and a lot of alums that are very well involved in the women's basketball space. So I was like, it was really a no-brainer for me.
We saw you on senior night with your family, and I also saw that you said it meant a lot to you to be able to play in front of your family and the people who raised you, not just on senior night, but every home game. How was that experience this season?
Every home game felt like senior night, honestly, because I saw so many people from my childhood at different games. So I felt so much love, and I've had a lot of success, but I never got to celebrate it with all of those people. So that was one of the driving factors of me coming to USC, is being able to play in front of them every single day and every single night. So it's just made the season super special. I just get to get a lot of love whenever I play basketball in Galen Center.
They were an Elite Eight team last year. Without you, they add you as another piece to try to take that next step. So when you look at the makeup of this team and what you've been through this season, what gives you confidence that you're going to bring that banner back here from Tampa?
I think we've just faced it all. We've faced all the type of teams that you can think of. The Big Ten is a great conference with a bunch of different makeups of teams. And just in my position specifically, I'm guarding post players who are more of guards, and then I'm guarding really big post players. So I think the makeup of the Big Ten will definitely prepare us for the tournament. But then also our preseason games, playing against Notre Dame, playing against Connecticut, I think those will definitely prepare us for the run that we're trying to make. So I think we've just been tried and tested, and we've been successful up until this point.
What would it mean to you to come back home to Los Angeles and reestablish that national championship tradition that we saw with Cheryl Miller back in the day?
It means everything. I think we're just about winning, winning, winning. To be able to win at USC for such a storied program, to be able to win for the city of Los Angeles, the city that a lot of us on the team are from, and just your hometown. And then for me, it's my last year ever playing college basketball. So that just be the cherry on top. So I think we're just super excited, super blessed, super grateful to be in this position. And we kind of want to just take it all.
Storybook ending, right? Like how we said with Paige. Kiki's story. She went from not getting in the game, wondering why what's going on. One of the best bigs in the country. to USC and potentially winning a national championship at home in your hometown, bringing it back home from Tampa to LA, and you go to the draft. You can't create a better Disney Channel ending than that. So as long as Kiki is consistent, not 6 points at halftime, that needs to be within the first few minutes. They're gonna make noise, and you know 12 going 12, so you ain't got to worry about that. And then back to this Juju topic, right? All week, I've been seeing it all week. It's just this forced Juju hate. This forced Juju hate. Like some people saying that she should transfer out of USC to be a megastar. Bro, come on. Juju Watkins needs to transfer out to be a megastar. Juju Watkins is already the star. She's borderline this close to being the princess of LA almost. We're talking about, again, mega endorsement deals. Nike, State Farm, Ritz, you'll see that commercial. 3 Degree Body Spray commercials. I'm talking about not even 20 years old and has 3 hand-painted billboards, Skies Airlines, makeup lines. Just signed another deal with Fanatics. Is that everything? She got another deal with Chipotle and Nintendo and all kind of crazy stuff. Like, you really think she need to leave to be a megastar? Come on now. Plus, Juju, she don't want to go nowhere. She has a great relationship with her coach. And then even then, it's just like the hate just seems so forced because Juju's very unproblematic. Like, I just see it in her. It's very cool, calm, cool beans, cool as beans, Juju beans. You know what I mean? She just go out there, go hoop, do her thing, go eat nerds clusters, go hang out with her friends, and be normal. Like, what? Wear baggy clothes like it's the early 2000s. Like, what is the problem? Don't let her listen. If you tired of seeing Juju already, boy, let her win a national championship. They will say she's better than Caitlin Clark. And speaking of that, let me pull up this ESPN clip too. Clarkies, Clark Media, the Caitlin Clark, whatever you call them. Y'all did all that. Y'all did all of this. Did all that renting on sports news for Caitlin Clark just for her not to be top 5 all time? ESPN doesn't have Caitlin Clark ranked top 5 all time. Mind you, they did all of that ranting, all of that rioting on this post because Juju Watkins passed Caitlin Clark. Okay, let me explain, right? So, this post was from last Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, right? Juju Watkins passes Caitlin Clark for the most points in the first 2 seasons, right? Keywords, first 2 seasons. Clarkies, I don't know what you want to call them. They assembled like Transformers, Power Rangers, Avengers, whatever you want to call them. They got this post out the way. It's gone now. And their main argument was Kelsey Mitchell was number 1. So why did you post Caitlin Clark? It's all lies. Even if Juju doesn't pass Kelsey Mitchell in all time points, she still passed Caitlin Clark. So what's the issue? Like, what is the problem? What is the real issue though? You think they pushing Juju Watkins too much? Again, you gonna see the commercials, and don't let her win a national championship at USC. Because when you see the artwork, Angel Reese and Juju back to back like these with the ring, looking directly at you with the ring on the ring finger. Oh yeah, they gonna do Caitlin Clark crazy. I guarantee you. And for her not to be top 5 all time, Brianna Stewart, Candace Parker, Diana Taurasi, Maya Moore, Cheryl Miller is top five all time, according to ESPN. I think Caitlin Clark could be probably six because she has the most points, men's and women's. But again, he broke all those records. But this right here matters at the end of the season. And if Juju Watkins get that between this year and 2 years from now, the next two seasons, they're gonna say she's better. 100%. That artwork's gonna hit nasty when Angel Reese on one back and Juju Watkins on the other back, and they showing the ring like these, looking directly at you. Oh, they all gonna be sick. You're not gonna sleep good at night. You're gonna hear Juju on that beat. Juju on that beat from the media all day long. Juju on that beat. Juju on that beat. You're gonna be asking, you're gonna be pulling all these Caitlin Clark stats and it won't matter. Because they don't care. Nobody cares if Caitlin Clark averages 30, 15, and 10. Shooting 60, 90, 90. You didn't win a national champ. You've been there twice. You didn't win. So at the end of the day, they don't have her in the top five. Now, again, she could be six. Could be top six all time, but again, with no ring, it is different. So, again, a lot of this Juju hate is forced. I could just see it. And we only got one Final Four team. That's a lock, in my opinion. Hey, that's crazy. That's it for Final Four teams that are locks. USC, as long as they play together as a team in a system, and they're not just saying Juju take us to the promised land, regardless, regardless, chat, I still see USC as a Final Four team regardless. I mean, they'll be ahead of UCLA mainly because they beat UCLA twice. I mean, really two and a half, but really twice. I'm gonna be technical. But if they really play together and everybody's clicking, everybody's scoring at a high rate, because honestly, all right, let's look at their stats, right? USC, women's team, right? Look at their stat line. People complaining about Juju playing too many minutes, but you gotta look at the stats, like who's scoring. You got Kiki averaging 18 and 8, but again, this has to be consistent within the tournament, right? After that, it's really just a little under 10 and 10 and under. So then who's going to pick up the scoring if Kiki gets in foul trouble, which she's been doing a good job, at least three fouls, and that's it. Leave it at that. No more fouls because when she gets into that 3 and 4, so she get a little timid and she start to back up and offense starts to score on her. But again, if Juju's not in the game and Kiki's in foul trouble, who's going to score on this team? They need to have more offensive plays for players like Kennedy Smith who can score. If you could raise this 9.5 to at least 12, 13, maybe even 14 in the tournament, Avery House will come in and at least give you 7 to 8. Oh yeah, this team. If they put some plays in for Kennedy and she's scoring, they up here. But right now, they're in the mix of right here to right here. But it depends on how they look in the tournament. Because again, all season they looked really good. They only lost a few games, right? Look at their schedule. They had a crazy win streak. Oh, Northwestern forfeits. Oh, Northwestern was a forfeit game? Oh, because of the fires. That's right, right. Fires. So, yeah, a lot of these were wins. A lot of wins. A lot of green. A lot of green. And they lost Iowa and then a lot of more green. So they just lost recently. So as long as this team plays together and Juju's clicking and then Kiki is clicking, and then when they're both clicking, it creates more opportunities for everybody else. They up here. They up there for the last spot for a championship. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, NC State could be up here, so UCLA is not lonely. They could make a Final Four. but they peak at least Elite Eight, Final Four. Notre Dame kind of scaring me. They could be Sweet 16 again. They might start sweating bullets like last year. But right now I'm gonna leave my Elite Eight in between Elite Eight and Sweet 16. Hmm. Hmm. These are duplicates, so we don't gotta worry about those. Um, yeah, that I mean, this seems pretty accurate. I mean, in my opinion, from how far these teams could possibly go. 'Cause I mean, yeah, honestly, this is how far I see these teams going. I mean, NC State could be Elite Eight, Final Four locks, but that's pretty much it. South Carolina, UConn, and USC for potential championships. UCLA, NC State for Final Four. LSU, Texas, Duke, TCU, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Oklahoma for Elite Eight. See the Sweet 16 teams, round of 32, and teams that are fortunately going to be going home in 5 to 7 business days. So we shall see, starting this week, what we got going on. Which team really took this week off and took it serious, got in the lab, did what they're supposed to do, and get the job done. South Carolina, it's a team to beat, and won last year when undefeated. Final boss, right? UConn. A lot is on the line with UConn right now. Paige looked like she wanted. AZ Fudge has been picking up 92 feet. KK zooming around the court. Ashlyn Shea hitting her shot. Sarah Strong looks pretty strong right now. And Elfie being unhealthy, USC just gotta click. You just gotta click as a unit. No mistakes. Again, they gotta get it done because if they don't at least make the Final Four, oh my goodness, bro. And then again, the Juju haters are gonna be so forced. It's gonna actually be nasty. They're gonna drag her through the dirt. And even then, Juju doesn't even really care because again, she's unproblematic. At least from what I've seen. Saying that she should transfer, like, come on, transfer to Iowa. I don't really think Juju Watkins thinking about Iowa and have to deal with y'all over there. No. Y'all really gonna say she tried to be Caitlin Clark and if she went to Iowa, like, come on now. Be for real. South Carolina, we seen what happened when she went on the tour. Don Staley showed her the statue of Asia Wilson, said she wanted her hometown. You know how Juju feel about her hometown and her community. Always giving back. You think she gonna really get up and leave for South Carolina? And even then, if she was to do that, after all the billboards and putting her on buses and all that, that's gonna be crazy. But I don't see that happening because she loves LA. She loves her city, loves her community. She wants to give back, which is winning the championship. But even then, with SC, because her top three was USC, Stanford, and South Carolina. If she was to go to South Carolina, you know how nasty that team is? That team is nasty. Juju, Malaysia, Tessa, Camila Cardoso, Ashlyn Watkins, Bree Hall, Raven Johnson, Chloe Kitts. That team is disgusting. They're winning it all. I mean, they won it all anyway. Went undefeated. So with Juju, they really win it. But then you can't compare to Caitlin Clark, because then you know how that's gonna go. They're gonna treat her like Kevin Durant going to the Warriors. Oh, Juju went to South Carolina. That team is already stacked. Why would she go there? Look at Caitlin Clark, what she did. Caitlin Clark's still better. Like, you know how that's gonna go. It's gonna be nasty. And even then, like I said, with this team is still stacked regardless with USC. They just gotta make it click. Make everything work. Because again, you gotta think. If one's not on, or if they hypothetically both get in foul trouble, who's gonna step up and score? Because again, it's not South Carolina. South Carolina has the depth to make it work. Well, they got Malaysia off the bench scoring them more than the starters. And even in with South Carolina too, this team is scary, bro. They really the final boss. You gotta think they have starting point guards coming off the bench. Malaysia Fulwali is a starter on the majority of the teams in this country. But her staying in South Carolina coming off the bench, I think it really humbled her in a way to where I could still win and not be a starter. Right? Even Tessa Johnson. You put Tessa Johnson on most of these teams in this bracket, she's starting and averaging 30 plus minutes. But even her, she's coming off the bench and she's doing her thing. You put them on USC, they're winning a national championship. So with this team, they just got to knock down their shots and make it work, and they gonna make some noise. But if they just solely depending on Judea Skies Watkins, you know what it is. And they need it. They need a lot of everybody. They need Ray Marshall to be the force, 2 blocks a game, 2.5 steals, few assists, 8.5 boards, 25 points. They need a lot from everybody to make it work. But I do trust this team to make it at least to the Final Four bare minimum, if not to the championship game. So with that being said, that is the end of this video. Hour 30 of just pure basketball and pure predictions. Again, to end this video off, I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not going back and forth with you. It's either prove me right or prove me wrong when I hit stop recording. Simple. You can go in there, you can get clacking on that keyboard, breaking your keyboard if you want to. Prove me right or prove me wrong in the tournament. Because some of these could be wrong. I mean, Notre Dame could get smoked by Stephen A. Smith School, and I'm going to crash out, right? UCLA could end up losing in the Sweet 16. That's going to be tough. It might be canceled. Some of these teams just might be canceled. I don't know. We're going to see. Starting this week. With that being said, I'm going to get out of here, bro. This is my predictions. I mean, I could still fill out a bracket, but brackets, I crash out when I do those. I want to make sure my bracket is correct 100%. If one of these teams lose, that bracket going right in the shredder. But anyways, I'm out of here. You guys let me know how you feel about this again. Don't come in here screaming and hollering. If you feel like this is accurate, it's accurate. If not, then we'll see. I'm gonna see you guys. I'm gonna see you guys in the next video, man.